Little test.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, good levels. Right, there's notes. It's like Tom Julian's here. Ready?
Let's go.
Oh, phone going off.
I've got to go and check the air before we start here.
What?
Go and check the board before we start.
No, you've just done it on the camera. Where are you going?
I got to say.
You've been quite good on Twitter.
Have I?
I would if I was to summarise in an emoji, I'd do a little fire one.
You don't like drinking Grover?
Never had it before.
You never had a bottle?
No.
You're losing points for being on the podcast every second.
Good.
Thanks for that input.
Before we get into the Villa, I had a bit of a...
Because it would be silly to start with Villa podcast. Hello, welcome to the Villa View podcast. As you can see, well, if you're watching by video, you can see he's not Tom Julian on my right as we first thought. I'm Dan Bardell. By the way, as you probably can tell by my dulcet tones, it's Chris Dolan to my right today. Tom has got the flu, and I've got to start off by saying Villa Mad said, will there be a punishment for Tom for pulling out?
Well, I can't say much after what
I think no.
I pulled.
No punishment for Tom because it's a genuine illness and he let us know in good time. One, Dolan gave us no notice when he was sick.
And he's a father as well.
And he's a father, but that's irrelevant. And two, you were lying. If anyone, you still haven't been punished, so there's no way we can punish Tom Julian. As is the way, recently we're not going to be sitting here talking about a Villa win, although at least we're not talking about a Villa defeat if we're going to cling on to some form of positive.
I've just had a sandwich. So
you're telling me you've just had a sandwich, I know, because I had to buy it for you. Right, Dolan's not on the screen at the moment. Let's get straight into it. Dolan, Aston Villa 2, Hull City 2. That's how Tom introduces things normally. I don't know why I've done it like that, but yeah, not the result we wanted, but let's face it, it could have been worse. I don't know how much of the game you've seen.
I've seen the highlights. We just seem to be talking about the same mistakes week in, week out. Keeper didn't really cover himself in glory again, from what I've seen. Get caught over the top again by a long ball. It's like,
Groundhog Day.
But you can forgive these mistakes when they happen once or twice. But when they happen week in, week out, and they're just the same, teams must love playing against us.
Well, I think they do at the moment
because we're so predictable. Over the top, bypass the midfield, defence panic, everyone's out of position, keeper's shaky.
Yeah,
it's like the three stages on how to dismantle Aston Villa.
What I will say is, first 10 minutes, I actually thought we came out with a bit of purpose. But if we don't get that early goal, we seem to then revert back to a bit like Bruce Ball again, of not really being sure what to do. Passing weight, I've said this a number of times recently. Passing weight was off. Decision making was off, and Hull kind of caught us on the break a couple of times, and then the first goal, as you've said, for me, it's not a great ball. No. There's not loads of pace on it. No. We should be dealing better with that. But even if we don't deal with the first phase, there's like a second and a third phase that we then don't deal with as well. And then, as you say, he's gone through the goalkeeper.
I just can't account for it, and I don't know what to say, because it's the same thing week in and week out, and I don't know what I can say that's not put it right. But I don't really. It's just so blatant, Even going back to the goalkeeper.
I don't want to get on the goalkeeper's back too much because he's new.
We're talking about the game here, We're just talking
it's not a good goal.
Just basic errors, I think, I said he was no man's land for the clearance, for that clearance off the line by Chester, which is the second time he's had the bottle side of it, against Bolton.
Yeah.
And against Hull. The keeper was no man's land. I don't know where he was. He was just flapping all over the place.
He's a big guy as well.
He's a big lad. I think at the minute we could do an entire show on goalkeepers. So as you say, let's not go in too heavy on him. But it's just kind of whenever you start your Villa career off, 3 games, you've conceded 8 goals. You know what I mean?
Quick maths.
Yeah. It's not it's not a good look, and already in his early career he's getting a bit of stick, and it's becoming a thing. Who
isn't at the moment, except for probably McGinn and Abraham.
It's becoming a bit of a thing, It's becoming any club that has 5 goalkeepers on their books, there's something not right, is there?
You could arguably say the goalkeeper that's looked the most comfortable has been Steer.
Jed Steer, yeah.
He's only played twice.
Played against Hull at the start of the season, did really well, and gets binned out.
Didn't do much wrong in
didn't
the
do much wrong against
QPR game.
QPR. They scored a couple of worldies. I thought that day. So yeah, it's a show. It's a topic that I think we should address. If it carries on getting worse, I think we.
Well, at the end of the day, we can't. We've spent $7 million on the guy, so he's going to be playing.
Yeah. Well, and that's it. And when you spend £7 million on a goalkeeper who you think is going to be an upgrade from the previous couple, and it looks just as bad, just as shaky, it's all the same traits.
That's weird.
That nervousness.
Do you think that's weird?
Yeah. Well, we spoke on the phone during the week, and you said that you'd like to go back and watch some highlights of Nylands and of.
I'd just like to see.
Just to see how they fared, and at their other clubs.
Yeah, I was saying to Dolan on the phone. I can't remember when we spoke. Probably Sunday.
So it was Sunday actually.
I was saying that I'd be interested to go back and look at some videos of Nyland and Kalinic at their old clubs, just to see if they were comfortable, because there's no way we're just going around signing goalkeepers that make mistakes. That just isn't happening. There's research gone into these signings, so. And as I said, I quite liked Nyland. I'm aware that he made mistakes, but I felt a bit sorry for him. I had a soft spot for him. I liked him, and I thought he had some good games before he got injured. I also very much liked his distribution.
Yeah.
I've not seen enough of Kalinic. That's the first time I've seen Kalinic live. But it's like these patterns in front of the Holt end. Bag of nerves.
Terrified.
I mean, admittedly, not as much to do up the other end in the second half. He made a good save at the end.
Yeah.
But he didn't look as nervous. I don't know whether the Holton's sucking the life out of these goalkeepers. It's interesting. I think it's interesting. It's very psychological, but I think there's something in it.
It really is. I mean, I remember whenever I went on the Villa Park tour about 3 years ago, and you remember that awful period we had towards the end of our time in the Premier League, and it was just toxic, and the whole thing was just awful. And
I'm not saying it's at those levels now.
No, but I just remember walking out onto the pitch. And it was empty, and you look out at Villa Park, and it's just this majestic.
What were you doing on the pitch?
Well, I was on the side.
Oh, you're on the tour. You just said
walking
that.
Out, yeah.
Good knowledge.
And you just look around. I was looking around and thinking, God, imagine playing in front of 40,000 fans, and they're on your back. It must be horrendous.
Let's say when it's going well, it must be a great
But when it's going well, it
play.
must be an amazing place to play. And that's something that Elphick picked up on in his post-match. I don't know if you saw that, but
I saw a bit. I think I read it.
Elphick did pick up on that. When it's going well, like there's no better place to play than Villa Park, and there's no better fans because you'll be adored. But it can't be easy when things aren't going your way. And as you said, the first straight pass on Saturday, boom.
Oh, that was straight away.
That was it.
And I've said before, I know for a fact it makes a difference to players. It does make a difference, and I think obviously the players and the manager need to be better at the moment. I'm not for 1 minute saying what's been served
works both ways.
acceptable.
It works both ways. You can't turn up to work.
We can all be better though.
Yeah, we totally. But you can't turn up to work and expect to be applauded and praise lavished upon you when you're not deserving of it.
I mean, I can't say I've ever had that at work. In all honesty,
I have it occasionally.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah.
But if I have a bad day, you get a bit of a rollicking.
Oh, I'm not doing it. It's tough times out there at the moment. It must be. It's tough to watch at times. It must be tough to play in at times. But we kind of need to find some middle ground, I think, because I don't think the fans are helping the players. I don't think the players are helping the fans at the moment. Is the way I look at it. So we all need to be better.
Yeah. I didn't expect to have.
Then we shouldn't be going 2-0 down.
We shouldn't, and that's the thing. That is the thing. And
that's where I contradict myself here.
Yeah,
you should not be going 2-0 down.
Should not, and Wigan should not be happening. Should not be happening.
That should never happen.
It just shouldn't.
I've erased that from my brain.
I tweeted, after that game, that's as at that level, that's as bad as
I said last week. I think that's the worst result we've had in the Championship.
Brentford away.
I still Brentford are a decent side.
bleak.
I still think Wigan, the run they were on as well. Wigan, and when some of the statistics Tom read out last week.
Yeah.
Get well soon, Tom. Then I think that's the worst. The Brentford one, we were both there, so we know how bad it was. But that's definitely the worst result we've had in the Championship. Smith pretty much said it's as low as he's been in his career, and it's as low as Aston Villa should be.
Yeah.
So that to me says they know that was the worst.
Oh yeah. But I just don't know. At the minute, I just don't fancy us against anyone. I'm back at that. I'm back in that mindset of I don't look forward to Saturdays at the minute. I don't look forward to 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. Didn't look forward to it last Saturday. I was proved right after half an hour. luckily Chester bailed us out. But even I just remember when that goal went in, I was in work and I sort of laughed, I sort of chuckled a little bit, but it was a chuckle of like acceptance. I knew it was coming. We knew it was. I just knew that we were going to make life difficult for ourselves on Saturday.
And that's the problem. That's been the problem all season. I think we've conceded the third most goals in the Championship, which isn't a good look.
Yes,
that seems to have turned into something I'm saying every week. Isn't a good look.
And how many? And as I said before on the phone, how many of our opposition goals against us? How many of the goals are down to our individual mistakes? We gift teams goals. We gift them goals. We are so easy to play against. At the minute we just seem just very lightweight. There's no cutting edge. There's no oomph. There's no spark. There's no one in the middle. Just that, you know, there's no one to kind of chop somebody down just to let them know that they're there. You know, there's no edge to us at the minute. It all looks a little bit safe and a little bit uninspiring. And we're just going through a bad run.
Oh, we really are.
You know, and every manager goes through it. I'm just hoping this is Smith's little blip. I was speaking to Stu Wakeford, soccer AM, you know, obviously big Brentford fan, and I said, Stu, like, did this ever happen at Brentford? Like, is this normal? And he did say that Smith did tend to go on. He'd have a bad patch, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere he'd go on a 5, 6, 7 game streak.
But that's been Villa. That's been Villa for a number of years.
Yeah.
Even under O'Neill, we'd be brilliant, and then we'd just have a run where we couldn't win to save our lives.
And Wigan would come to Villa Park and beat us 2-0. You know.
We've had stuff like that for as long as I can remember. John Gregory as well. We're top of the league, absolutely flying, and then we just went on a horrendous run. It was to coincide with injuries as well.
Against Bradford and Cup, like we always just seem to make life really hard for ourselves out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and it just seems to be a trait. I just think it seems to be a trait that's, as you say, it's just happened over the years. It wouldn't be Aston Villa.
We've got some bad habits that need to be eradicated.
We do, but how is that? I mean, it doesn't seem.
Bruce last year as well. We put ourselves in prime position to finish in the top 2.
Go and play Norwich away, and
we go on a disaster run again.
Bottle it,
and then we go on a good run straight after. But it's that lack of consistency that's killed us. And once again, it's another 2-2 at Villa Park. Draws just seem to be our speciality.
Well, again.
Did you say on Twitter that you take a draw beforehand?
I didn't say anything, actually.
And usually
then whenever we were 2-0 down, everyone was saying, I'll take a point now, Dolan. So
let's talk about the second goal. Again, we haven't covered ourselves in glory.
No, just again, as you said, there was like 2 or 3 phases of play that it could have been dealt with.
I mean, I didn't notice it at the time, but my dad, who I will come on to later, because he's had a stinker.
What was he said?
He turned round after the second goal went in and said Alan Hutton just made no effort to track back. He just stopped. It's very similar to Taylor last week at Wigan. Like, these are things that I didn't expect to be seeing. And I don't want to. I don't want to hammer anyone. I don't like hammering people.
We're just asking questions. We're just actually, you know, what we're doing is because
I think no one's playing well.
Well, exactly, and what we're doing as well, we're just commenting on what we're seeing, and what we're seeing is dross. It's garbage at the minute, and it's not good enough. At any less, it's not good enough.
No.
And it's the basics that they were getting wrong. It's the basic fundamentals of tracking back.
It's almost like
the shifting.
The man went past Hutton, and I expect to see Alan Hutton, a player you associate with working hard, to be honest.
Yeah.
I expect to see him sprinting to get back. But it was just like Taylor last week, a bit of a jog, in my op, from what I could see. A bit of a jog, thinking, oh, it's all right, we'll deal with this. And then we don't deal with it. It's a good ball to the guy at the back stick of Andrew. It's a good finish. It's a good finish.
It's a great finish. I mean, the keeper's like all of this flapping around the place.
I don't think he's the keeper for that one.
Just look at it. There's just no conviction. There's no conviction, and you just start looking and go, God.
More worrying to me is when we're conceding goals. It's like, I like to see players having a go at each other when you've conceded a goal, but it's almost like it's that resignation at the moment of, oh, okay, we've shipped.
Well, we all know that Chester's not he's not a vocal captain. He leads by example.
Well, sounds like he shouldn't be playing at the moment, to be honest.
And this is but he leads by example. His professionalism, his work rate, his mannerism. He's like, he is the kind of model professional that everyone would aspire to be. He's like a young John Terry in that sense. Obviously, Terry's very vocal. I just feel
I think we're missing a vocal presence.
I do, but then it goes back to the sort of the whole thing of, well, do we need experience? Do you need, I
don't think you necessarily need experience to be vocal, because I would say Tammy Abraham's very vocal.
Yeah.
And he's
Twinsaby
21.
was quite vocal as well, to give him his dues, but it's because if we decide to go down the route of not buying into the experience and having the younger crop of homegrown players or the younger crop of under 23s, they're not going to be very vocal at this stage of their career. So we're going to have to accept that.
I mean, you have some players that are born leaders. So John Terry, from an early age in the academy at Chelsea, coming through up the ranks everywhere he's been, absolute leader. He'll never change. But you look at last season, one of the compliments we would throw at Villa was, there's just leaders everywhere. There's people that know what they're doing. So you think about some of those players that we were praising last season. So you've got probably Jedinak, Snodgrass,
Graben.
I wouldn't class Graben as a leader, but Terry. That's three big characters who aren't there.
Johnson's vocal, very vocal.
It's just maybe they're. I mean, Johnston knew the players, didn't he? Get a confidence to be vocal. Maybe the two new keepers haven't had that confidence to be vocal and organise. Although Kalinic, from what I've heard, is very good in the dressing room early doors. From what I've heard, he's a good character. I think we're missing that a little bit.
Well, we said again, and looking at the squad now, for me, it needs to be ripped up and
it will be
start again. And I think that's part of the problem. I think these players know. I think there's probably about 8 or 9 players that know.
I was going to ask you that later.
Yeah, well, I think
do it now.
I think there's about 8 or 9 players that know that they're not going to be here come the summertime. So there's obviously, from what I can see, a lack of effort.
I don't think the players ever purposely come out and play with a lack of effort. I know sometimes people say that, but I personally don't think that ever happens.
No, but I just think if you've, I mean, I don't know how it's been handled, but I think, agents talk, people talk. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, and I'm
don't
sure
get me started on agents.
Well, I'm sure there's been a few discussions had, and the fact that we are quite light with our squad, especially at the back. Obviously, I don't know any names. I've not heard anything myself, but I would imagine, as we said before, there's probably a good 7 or 8 players that are playing around the first team that aren't going to be there next season, and I think you can see that in the performance.
But surely you go out to play better because you know that you need to get to club.
Well, that's what I said, but I think nowadays agents seem to be able to find players, clubs very quickly, regardless of how dreadful they are.
That's true.
So I don't think
Kevin Prince Boateng signed for Barcelona today. I need his agent.
Exactly. So I think. I get what you're saying, as I just said, like sometimes you want to put yourself in the window in the market, but I just think we need to, as I said before, we need to rip it up and start again. And how many times have we said that?
I think exactly the same. But what I will say is, during that 7-game run where we were playing brilliantly, by the way, we were all thinking, we're onto something special here with those players. But something has changed.
Sometimes
it's not the same.
And also as well, like we should have enough quality to beat what's in front of us most weeks, regardless if we're missing Jack Grealish or Axel Tuanzebe.
I don't buy that.
But it's also on the flip side. You're going to miss your 2 best players. Like they were our 2 best players.
And they were both the form players at the time.
Both the form players, and it's no coincidence that they go out of the team, and we have a massive dip in form.
I know. I would expect to see a differing level of performance without those 2, but what I wouldn't expect to see is what I have been seeing. I wouldn't expect the level to drop that much because 2 players are out.
What's got me as well is he kept the same formation as he had whenever we had Grealish.
Yeah.
And it clearly, without Grealish in that team, that formation isn't getting the best out of the players.
No.
It would be nice maybe to see him trying to switch it up a little bit.
I mean, he did switch it up when he brought Codger on. We kind of went to a 4-4-2, although I thought it was more of a 4-1-1 because Codger was dropping a little deeper, but I thought we were quite dangerous with that. I was encouraged to see him change formation during the game because that was a criticism I've had, how we didn't change formation 3-0 down the week before at Wigan. I do not know.
Yeah.
Even when we were 2-0 down at Wigan, to just try and change up a bit. So he's obviously taken some feedback or criticism, not from us, but some criticism on the chin and his change formation this weekend.
Somebody had said about, you see on Twitter, you see people have their predicted lineups for the weekend's games. Somebody had Green in the middle as a bit of a number 10.
I've got a feeling he was playing through the middle for Portsmouth.
And I was sort of thinking, you look at that goal against Norwich, and that was straight through the middle, but I was sort of thinking that wouldn't be a bad shot, I mean,
he can carry the ball, which is what we've been missing in the middle.
He's got bags of energy, bags of pace. He's not as silky on the ball as Grealish, and I've always criticised Green. If there's anything that I think lets him down, it's his first touch. It's a little bit shaky. So in the middle of the park, if you haven't got a good first touch, you know, it could go anywhere.
Yeah.
But I was just sort of, that could be quite a good. Could be quite useful to maybe try it out on Saturday.
I think I put a tweet out about that about 18 months ago and got laughed at.
What, playing him through the centre?
Yeah. When Grealish was injured, I think I said that. And I got laughed at. You better not laugh at me because you're on here now giving it the big one about it.
No, I agree, because if you look at Adoma, where he played his best football last year was on the left.
Yeah,
right.
And he was on the right on Saturday.
On the right on Saturday, Balassi was on the left. That's not going to happen anymore, right?
Well, we'll talk about Balassi.
We know what's happened there.
There's a whole section dedicated to him.
Yeah. You move Adoma to the left, Codger to the right, Green behind Abraham, and you have McGinn and then Hurahan as your deepest.
Well, whatever. To be fair, since Grealish has been out, whatever three we've tried with the midfield, none of them have worked.
Doesn't work.
We've not been effective.
No.
Whereas we had a three that worked, unfortunately, before Grealish got injured with Connor, McGinn and Jack. That was working. In fact, we were destroying teams away from home, which was great to see. But for whatever reason, any midfield combination we've tried just hasn't worked. But I put down here that actually the subs did offer us something at the weekend. They did give us a bit of impetus.
Well, yeah.
I don't think he was a world beater by any stretch, but I wouldn't expect him to be first game back. But he did. Let me say, the fans. This is what I mean. The fans when Green came on, the fans were right behind him, and you could see it made a big difference to his game. It gave him some confidence and belief. So if we're like that to everyone, it might give the players some belief. I know it seems simplistic to say that, but we got behind Green, and he went out there and he had a good go. And not everything he tried came off, but he gave it a good go, and he played with a bit of confidence. That's maybe sometimes what players need.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I don't know if this is in the notes, but
I mean, there's a lot here, but it's a lot of mumbo jumbo. It's all mumbo jumbo.
But I just think the pennies finally dropped with the fans, and I think
in what terms?
Because we're all just sick and tired of seeing players coming into our football club on massive money.
Oh, so you're saying giving the youngsters a chance?
Massive money, rinsing the club on massive contracts.
Yeah.
Don't put in the effort. Don't put in the shift. Don't love the club. Don't have the same passion and same drive that you want to see. I think now it's about time that we start really bringing through our own.
Well, I agree with you, because ultimately that approach hasn't worked for us because we're still in the championship.
Exactly.
But then I would also level at you. One of our best players last season was Robert Snodgrass. He was on loan,
but he's just different. He's just a different.
What about this
season? A different generation.
What about Tammy? Okay, his heart might not be with Villa, but you can't say he hasn't put it in, and you can't say he hasn't been effective.
But these are kind of 2 out of 10. You know, this is a percentage that for me, Tammy and Snodgrass come in the lower echelons of that percentage. You look at players that have come in and it just hasn't worked, and they're on big contracts and they're costing an absolute fortune. And
are you talking about just loans here?
Just in general. No. Just in general.
Oh, don't dispute that. I'm talking specifically about loans, because there's no way me and you sat here and thought that's a bad bit of business getting Balassi in. I was excited about it. There's no way. Well, let's come on to Balassi. There's no way we.
I was too.
We weren't like, I've got reservations about that. No. We were just buzzing to have him in.
No,
a good player that we thought would come into form, and it looked like it was going to work out. It looked like he was going to play.
And anyone
he didn't start for a while.
No.
But then when he did come in for that little spell, he was good initially. He looked electric, and now he could be an egg.
What bugs me about some of the things I've heard is, like, you know, he felt that he's got his fitness back at Villa, so he's off.
I mean, he ain't getting in the Everton team. No way.
Well, from what I've heard today, he's potentially going to go on loan
to a Premier League
club.
You don't know who though, do you?
Don't know who.
Can he do? He must have played under 23s for Everton. He must have done. So it's that old ruling again. Can he play for another club? I mean, it seems bizarre that no one knows these rules, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, anyone I spoke to about Balassi when he first joined, I spoke to Steve Parish about him.
Yeah.
Because that's where he made his name.
At
Palace. Well, no, I'm telling you what happened. And
calm down, will you?
And then Parish, Steve was like, listen, if you can get back to anywhere near his best, you've got an absolute player in your hands.
But these should be players that are good, but it just doesn't seem to work out.
It just, for whatever reason, there was glimpses of Balassi. you know, if he was on 25 grand a week, you'd keep him and have him as an impact sub. But when you're paying 80 grand a week, I'm sorry.
I mean, I've got to say, yesterday when this story came out about Balassi cancelling his own loan, I was like, no
We all
way,
did, and
I am not having that. But
James Nursey got an absolute pelting for it as well, and it turns out
I don't like James Nursey.
No, but it turns out he's right.
We've done our due diligence, and actually that
Done our
story
research.
is true. He did cancel his own loan. But it just seemed too convenient to me. But some people pointed out that he did not look happy when he got substituted on Saturday, but then he was having a stinker.
He was.
I mean, not many people were having good games,
And
but he was having an absolute stinker.
There's no way we would have played him on Saturday if we were going to cancel his loan on Monday morning.
No, that is true.
That which wouldn't have happened. And I think it all fell in, I think, with the whole AGM meeting last week with Purslow and the Q&A and the sort of philosophy of bringing through our own and keeping the age, the age gap down and all of that. I think everyone thought, oh, this is perfect. This is the start of the Dean Smith revolution and the Christian Purslow revolution. But it turns out that Balassi actually did cancel his own contract and wanted to go back to Everton to try and play.
I find that phenomenal stuff, because he must know himself. He must be smart enough to think, I am not going to get in that Everton team unless he fancies himself, which if he does fair play.
Were we paying all his wages, or
I think we were paying all.
He is only on 80 grand a
from
week.
what I understand, I think it was full, but it was at least 80%. So we were paying a big chunk, because I know that was what was snagging the deal in the first place, was the fact of how much money we were going to pay. But I think Bruce really wanted him, and the club backed Bruce. It's a very Bruce signing looking
very
back.
Bruce signing.
Isn't it? Dean Smith would not be bringing that kind of player in, but it's kind of. Do you think Richard Griffiths has asked this? Is Green the replacement for Balassi, or do you think we'll buy another winger
He's
now?
the replacement at the minute.
Yeah, because the two aren't entwined, are they?
No,
Because
at the minute-
Green came back before with us still thinking Balassi was going to be here.
I think everything that you see at the minute is temporary. I think Dean Smith's papering over the cracks. I don't think with the majority of players that we have in that squad, I don't think he can get without Jack in the team as the certain main man. I don't think he can get what he wants out of the players that we have at the minute as a team.
Oh yeah, sorry,
with
when
Jack.
Yeah, sorry, you're right.
You know, with Jack, he was just there as he was the focal point.
For devil's advocate again, if we don't go up, Jack ain't going to be there next season. He would be.
Well, that's what I said. That's
he'd
what
be
I said
a
a few
lunatic
weeks
if
ago.
he was, in all honesty.
That's what I said a few weeks ago. That's my one big fear. If somebody said to me, "Jack's going to stay and give you one more year under Smith," I'd be like, "Do you know what? Play the kids until the end of the season. Let's just play the kids till the end of the season. Write the season off. Have a go."
You can never write off though when you're still so close.
I know, but not.
7 points is not insurmountable.
No, it's not. But on the whole, I now don't think. I mean, I sat here 2 weeks ago and I thought maybe we might sneak into.
I mean, I don't
top
think
two.
we will either, but I'm saying while the gap is 7 points, you think go on a good run and you're right back up. Bristol City, I mean, at the moment in the league table 7.
Yeah, but Dan, you say
Where
going
have
to
they
good
come
run.
from?
It's easier said than done.
I
Going to
agree
good
with
run.
you. But I think,
let's go good run. Let's get 9 points from Wigan, Ipswich, and Hull.
but I think we will go on a good run. I do think that will happen.
I can't say
Whether it'll be enough,
I cannot
it will
say it.
turn. It won't go on like this.
Well, it will turn, but I can't see us going 7, 8, 9 in the bounce.
I mean, I don't know where I'm pulling this confidence from, but it wouldn't surprise me to see that.
We should be with the players we have.
Yeah.
Should be blowing that league out of the water. I've said it year in, year out. The squad we have assembled over the last 3 seasons. I mean, Hart Hudson made a very good point. We're like the Harlem Globetrotters. Just lobbing money at it, chucking money at it. Just completely, just reckless.
Looking back, we didn't really learn from the Premier League, did we?
It was just reckless.
And again, though, we were all lapping it up at the time.
We were, of
You
course.
can't say we weren't, oh yeah, let's get Lansbury in on 40 grand a week. Because we were.
But that's football for you. That's the way it goes. 1 minute you're begging the club to buy Ross McCormack for £12.5 million. He's the man that's going to fire us back into the Premier League. And now look at him.
What I will say is I think that kind of the way we did do things, I think a lot of it does come from the manager as well, and Dean Smith isn't like that.
No.
So I will say that that's very much Bruce's mentality. He always wanted one more player. Oh, I just need this
One
player,
more, yeah,
and
yeah.
then we'll go up. That is very Steve Bruce, and he'll probably do the same at Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah.
Although I'm not sure what their constraints are.
Financially.
Yeah.
But I think as well on Dean Smith, we haven't had a manager that particularly has the clubs has the club at heart. I think whatever Smith does, he has Villa, in his best interests as a fan of the club.
I mean, I heard Brian Little talking on Howard and Johnny's podcast after the AGM, last week, which is probably worth checking out.
Really good, yeah.
If you haven't listened to it, it's only 20 minutes long. But Brian Little was saying, I don't dispute that the other managers and people that have been here have wanted the best. It would be unfair of me to come here and say that they didn't, but he said the Dean Smith is kind of like another level. He genuinely loves the club and genuinely cares, and it's all about Villa. Whereas you did kind of think towards the end of Steve Bruce's tenure, it was making it all about him.
About him, yeah.
Feeding stuff to journos. It just wasn't right, was it? Whereas Dean Smith, you can say he genuinely cares about Villa and he wants the best for Villa. I've picked up an interesting nugget of information. I can never sit here and say that it's 100% true, but it's come from a reasonable source that's saying that Smith wants to play the under-23s, but he'd rather do it when they've had a full pre-season and he can throw them in from the start rather than just chucking them in now because it's not the right. He doesn't feel it's the right time. Again, I can't guarantee that's true, but it's come from a decent source. What do you make of that?
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Do you think that makes sense?
Yeah, totally. I mean,
fans are saying, "Where are the under-23s? Give them a go. Give them a go."
A few of them played against Swansea, and then they got panned. O'Hara got panned, and players got panned for not being world beaters, and playing on the under-23 football in front of 5 people at Villa Park, to then coming in and playing in front of 38,000. It's not the same. The
time to give a couple of those players a go was at the end of last season when we guaranteed playoffs. We pretty much knew we were going to finish 4th.
Well, we went to Millwall and we were like, why'd you bring on Jack? You brought Jack on? Well, play
Momentum,
the kids.
Momentum, I guess.
Well, there is that, but just play the kids. I think now there's too much money now in football, and there's too much at stake now in football about being able to do that. I don't particularly like Steve McLaren, but I remember back in the day when he was managing Middlesbrough, didn't he field
whole team,
a starting 11 who grew up within like a 5-mile radius?
I thought that was Southgate.
No, it was McLaren.
I think he was Southgate.
No, I think you'll find out with Steve McLaren.
Okay. We'll have a little look
if anyone can,
we'll have a look. I was going to say one of us is right, but there's a chance we're both wrong. It's probably Brian Robson.
No, I think it was McLaren, and he fielded a starting 11 on the last day of the season that were all born within like a 5-mile radius of the football club.
Yeah,
that's the dream.
I mean, it is a dream, but I'd say you need a mix. You need the right mix. I would say you need the right balance. You need some people that have come through the academy Villa in their bloods, but you need other players, because the players that are in there at the moment, there's players in there that genuinely they're not Villa born and raised, but they genuinely care and love the club and want to be there. There's players there now playing that do want to be there.
Of course. And what a place to be, what a place to play football, what a club to play for. I mean, the facilities are phenomenal, stadium's phenomenal, fan base is phenomenal. As we say in week in, week out, everything is there. Everything's there. You just got to get it right in the pitch.
This isn't in the notes, but it's something I've just literally thought about. I still think the Tammy stuff has disrupted us. Do you think if players think Tammy wants to go and play for Wolves in the Premier League while he's in the middle of a season with Villa, do you think that annoys players that are sat in the dressing room? Do you think that creates a divide?
No, because
I know he's doing the business. I'm not for 1 minute saying his heart wasn't in it, but there was obviously something going on. There was something in it.
Yeah, but I think Abraham's conducted himself quite well. With you look at Jack. I'm sure it's a similar situation to Jack in the summertime.
Yeah, but what we see on the pitch and what happens on a day-to-day basis are two different things. We don't know what's going on in the week.
Yeah,
do you not think it must make a difference? That must unsettle people.
It would do, but there's stories come out every day about football clubs and players and agents and rumours and transfers. It was obviously happening, but for me, what it should have done is galvanise the team. I mean, I said when I was on here last time that I would feel that this would be like a new signing, and I think we can kick on from here.
I mean, he scored again on Saturday.
Scored again Saturday, but we haven't kicked on, and it hasn't galvanised the team.
I thought when we got to 2-2, 65 minutes, I thought, right, this is the turning point here. We'll go on and win this now. It just didn't happen, did it? And it wasn't through lack of effort, because in the second half there was an intensity, there was an effort. We were doing the things I would have expected to see in the first half, but it's that one half good, one half bad again.
When was the last time we played a really good 90 minutes of football?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Middlesbrough.
The last time we won at Villa Park was the Birmingham game, but even then the first half it was a struggle.
That wasn't great. Probably Middlesbrough away.
Yeah, I felt that was I wasn't at Derby. I didn't see Derby, so I can't say too much about the 9 minutes there, but those two did feel like complete performances from what I heard from Villa fans and people that were there. They felt like complete performances, and I thought we were on the road to that. But it's just, for whatever reason, it just isn't happening at the moment. And I look at the league table, and I never like it when I can't see us in the top half of the table. Sitting 13th now, he's still tight.
It's pathetic.
We're only 1 point off 8th.
Pathetic.
But yeah, I mean, it's not good reading.
3 seasons in and we're sitting 13th.
Yeah,
It's pathetic.
Doesn't feel like much progress has been made when you put it like that, Dolan.
It's a joke.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
let's not beat around the bush. It is a joke.
Yeah.
It should just not be happening. It's a disgrace. But
It's not Dean Smith. It's not Dean Smith's fault, is it?
Blaming Dean Smith for
no,
a
no, I
second.
know you're not, but some people are having a pop. Some people are having a pop at him. He's the right man for the job.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
He needs to be given some time
He does, but
because he has a plan as well, and we've got a
does.
structure behind him now that makes sense, which we haven't had for a while.
well, we thought we had that with the last regime. I just don't know what to believe, who to believe.
These guys, I think,
Yeah.
they do know what they're doing. They've got. I mean, we'll come on to the AGM, but as Perslow said, they've got sports experience. They've the Milwaukee Bucks just go. Just
I saw one of their games. I
and
saw one of their games.
they have gone from one of
Yeah.
the worst run franchises to one of the best run franchises now. They've got arguably the best player in the NBA at the moment, who they've brought
Who's
through
that?
themselves. I knew you were going to ask me who it was, and I know who he is. I know his first. I can say his first name, but I've got absolutely no chance of saying his second name.
Okay.
Giannis.
Okay.
Giannis. I'm not even going to attempt to
No,
say his second
okay.
name because I will
But is he-
absolutely.
is he
he's the
top-
real. He's
top
the
boy,
real
yeah?
deal.
Yeah.
At the moment, he's absolutely flying in there. When we sat down and met them the day or a couple of days with him when they bought the club at the fans consultation,
Yeah.
they said Wes Eden said himself, "The power of the future is the tagline of the Milwaukee Bucks," and it sounds like that's the kind of thing we're going to be working towards at Villa now, getting some young players through, building from within, being self-sustainable,
But
and that's what a
unfortunately,
few
we're
people
gonna-
have called for.
But unfortunately, we have the hottest prospect in one of the hottest prospects in English
And he's
football.
homegrown.
He's homegrown, and he's probably going to leave in the summertime.
You can't blame him though.
You can't blame him, but that's my biggest bugbear. If someone had said to me, we'll keep Jack next season, and we're going to rebuild.
We'll get on to his brother.
Yeah, well, we'll
get in his
see.
ear.
We'll see
get in
him.
his ear.
We'll see him in a few weeks. But
Yeah.
that's the only thing for me. It was such a waste for us as a club. You nurture him through everything, and you can't then provide.
And to manage
For
to
the player.
keep him in the summer after
Manage to
everything
keep-
as well,
after
and then we're
everything,
still
you
sitting in
know.
13th. Yeah. George Fowler's asked, does being a big club in the Championship help or hinder us? I mean, you have to say the latter. It doesn't help us.
We're not.
Because we're not up.
We're not. But we're not. We are now. We were a Premier League club in the Championship. We're now a Championship club in the Championship.
Interesting.
But we are.
But we're a big name.
Of course we are.
Big name.
Yeah, but so are Leeds, so are
they're
Middlesbrough,
they're
so are
finally gonna
Derby,
get out of it,
so are Forest, so are Stoke, so are Sheffield Wednesday, so are Preston, so are
Yeah, come on, other than
Ipswich,
other than
they have a
Leeds,
history,
other than Leeds, I don't think you can compare any of those clubs.
Forest?
To Villa. Sorry, Forest.
Come on.
as well. But you're going to Derby, Preston. Come on,
big clubs, big fan bases.
Preston,
I didn't say Preston, did I?
You did say
I said
Preston.
Ipswich.
Ipswich.
They've got a big history.
Come on, they're not Villa though.
Nah, but who would want to be Villa at the minute?
Well, we are what we are, mate. We're
Yeah.
still all Villa.
Yeah, but we're by average.
I agree with you, but I'm not having that. It's comparable to an Ipswich or a Preston. No way.
I'm kind of getting sick about the whole but we won the European Cup in '82. So what?
Yeah, I agree with that. But what I'm saying is, we're still
So
a
what?
big club.
We're a big-
and it doesn't help us. I don't think.
We're a
'Cause
big-
It's not helped us because we've not gone up.
We're only a big club because we've got a big fan base. We're not a successful club.
Well, no, we haven't won anything since '96.
Exactly.
And that's,
We're as big a club as Newcastle are.
whoa. They've never won anything.
Yeah, but they've got a massive fan base.
They've never won anything.
matter?
Historically, they've not got a great record.
Historically, what does it matter?
Matters to me.
It's the here
You should
and
be
now.
proud of your history. It is
I
the here
am
now,
proud
but you
of
should
it,
be
but
proud of the
I'm sick
history,
I'm
Dolan.
sick of talking about it.
Okay, let's
See
move
some
on.
action on the pitch.
Let's move on.
Sorry.
Let's move on to transfers. Codger has been linked with his old club Angers. What do you make of that?
Don't know anything about it. Don't know anything about.
I'd be sorry to see him go. I've said Angers. I've literally just read it.
Angers.
Don't look back in anger. Would you look back on
It's
anger?
a love-hate thing with Jonathan Codger, isn't it?
He's the one that
It's
if
a
there's
love
anyone
hate.
who frustrates me.
You said that you'd happily move him on.
Reveal secret information from the WhatsApp group, Chris.
Yeah, but you said you wouldn't be disappointed if he moved on.
Just because I think it's that thing again of, well, I don't think he'll be here next season anyway. It would probably get decent money for him. Maybe Smith can then get him one of his own men that he wants.
Was he 28, 29?
Yeah. He has his moments. I've got to
Yeah.
say, he came on Saturday and I thought he was good. But I feel like we've got a few too many players who are better off the bench. Balassi was better off the bench.
Yeah.
Why are players better off the bench? Why can't they play well for 90 minutes?
It's just that. It just seems to be that intensity. You know, these kind of these. Is the word show pony a bit of a harsh term? But these players like Kodja, Balassi, they're not going to give you. They're not going to track back. They're luxuries.
Yeah.
They're luxury players. You know, and we can't carry them. We can't carry luxury players at the minute.
No.
We can't, and that's
Well,
what they are.
You know when we can.
When Jackson's in, exactly.
Because he takes players away and they
Exactly.
get more space. People get freed up.
Exactly.
No one's really getting freed up at the moment, are they?
Exactly.
We're not getting the ball out wide quick enough.
Exactly. And if you look at it like, you know,
We're not getting the ball to the midfield quick enough for a start. Then the midfield aren't getting. It's all a knock-on effect all the way down.
Completely.
Yeah, it's bad. Chris Meffam has joined Bournemouth, I think, just before we came on to record this podcast. We understand that actually Villa did match the bid and offer him more wages, but he's chose Bournemouth not by the looks of things. He's gone to Bournemouth, but we understand that Villa were in for him. Good young player, played under Smith.
And that's why we're not a big club.
That's big money. That's their saying that we're going to go and spend 12, 13 million pound on a centre back.
You would have. Yeah.
Where's that?
Well, I mean, I'll be allowed to.
Well, we're obviously prepared to do it because we've bid
in
for
that
it.
case, let's get stuck in then. Let's spend some money.
Well,
I think we'll go back in for Scott McKenna.
Yeah, he hasn't got anywhere yet, has he?
By all accounts, I think we'll go back in for him. You mentioned that you've heard a few more rumblings about Cahill.
Yeah, again, decent sources told me that we're in for Cahill.
I would take him in a heartbeat. I think he's a class act, and he's for me he's.
But do you not think it's that same old route of a
Not
third
really,
plus?
because John Terry broke the mould with that. He really did.
John Terry was free for one season, and that was worth a punt. I think it was worth a punt. Is Gary Cahill going to come permanently to play in the Championship? Is that going to be a loan deal?
Surely it would be like a 6 month sort of loan.
The only thing I can think of is that the Balassi money is now there unexpectedly.
Yeah.
So we can maybe afford to go and do that on the basis we were going to pay Balassi for a whole season.
I think at that in that position, if we had someone like Cahill coming in, I just think. Can you imagine the calmness he would bring?
I mean, he should never have gone. Let's face it. When he did,
is that night? Where's he?
Mine O'Neill, mate. Oh. I mean, don't get me started, but I've said it all before. That was a bad decision.
It was a shocker.
He's gone on and won the lot, really.
It was a shocker.
With Chelsea. Do you think John Terry could play some influence in getting Gary Cahill?
Yeah, completely. Oh, completely.
We've just sat here and said we've got to change our approach, but then we're then saying
no. But you said earlier on that you need a balance of players.
No, I said that.
I didn't say
I'm not
that.
saying that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, but I mean, I think some players break the molds, and I think players like Gary Cahill, John Terry, for me, I think Cahill would be a great signing. But I still think we'll go back in for McKenna, and I think we'll get a right back, and I think we'll get a left back, and I also think we'll get someone who can play in the number 10 role.
I mean, I think we'll still get 3 to 4 players, but time's running out. To be fair, I'd like to have seen some business done by now. But if I know you've got to have a squad, but if we then bring in Gary Cahill, I mean, we don't know what the Chester injury situation, but it sounds like he could do with taking out, but we haven't done. Then where does Courtney Hawes fit in? He's surely not come here to sit on the bench.
No, I think he's been brought in. I think he's been brought in for the future. I don't think he's been brought in to play now.
But we need someone to play now because Chester's basically playing on one leg.
Well, he's going to have to chuck him in then.
Let's talk about the Chester injury. So it's come out this week that Jared Chester's been not training. He's basically doing a Paul McGrath. He's not training in the week, and then he's playing on a Saturday. What do you make of that?
There's a few things you can say about that. I think it's on his part the fact that the will to play and play through the pain barrier. You know, you respect that completely. He's a proper player, isn't he?
Yeah. We love him.
I also think that it smacks a bit of desperation from Villa in the sense that we've no one else to play. So let's play James Chester, who's currently injured and is playing through the pain barrier.
Yeah, Sir Smuggler's Ellis has asked if this is brave or foolhardy. Lovely use of the word foolhardy, I will say.
It's a bit of both, isn't it?
But does he deserve
brave in his part?
Credit?
Brave in
I
his
think
part.
he does.
Kumbasa just said brave in his part.
Yeah.
Great to see him.
I wasn't really listening to you because I was looking at where my question was coming from.
Brave in his part, but naive, and kind of sums us up as a club from the club's point of view because we've no one else to play there.
This is another thing where fans are giving someone stick because they're getting in the whole Chester getting stick. he really, if you think about it, he shouldn't be playing. He shouldn't have to play. He is, but he shouldn't have to.
And he bailed us out. He bailed us out twice that game. Bailed us out with the off the line clearance, and bailed us out scoring the goal before.
Also, 5 goals this season is a great return from a centre half.
From a guy who's training twice a week and he's currently injured.
We love him. Everyone knows our feelings
Legends.
on certain Villa players, and James Chester is one that we love. And
Proper.
I think it's telling that he's injured because he hasn't been as good as he was in previous years.
No.
But he isn't going to be if he's basically playing on one leg, as I've just said.
And also playing in a back four that's just full of uncertainty, and a keeper that's and playing but in front of 3 goalkeepers this year.
It's not good, is it?
It's not good.
But again,
has Bunn played this year? Bunn's played this. He's had 4. He's played in front of 4 goalkeepers this year.
Yeah, I mean Dean Smith.
Bunn.
We've actually had 5 keepers play this season, I think, because Mariah played in the cup.
But Chester didn't play that game, did he?
No, he wouldn't have done. But I'm just saying, if that's 5 goalkeepers
we've had this season, 5 goalkeepers.
Jeez, that's bad.
It's ridiculous.
But that, you know what? I look at that and I just think
it's reckless.
I don't like to blame. People are saying you can't blame the previous manager for everything, but for that kind of thing, I can.
5 goalkeepers, like
I can blame the previous manager for those things.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
Poor Chester, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone's asked actually how my rabbits are. Miles Drake, obviously one of my rabbits.
You had to get that in, didn't you?
He's called Chester. It felt like a good point to put it in. Chester did get put on the naughty step. If you follow me on Instagram and on Twitter, Chester did get put on the naughty step for scrapping. But it was the day after James Chester, his namesake, had scored, so maybe he was feeling a bit boisterous. It felt like he was the man. Anyway, I digress. Let's move on from rabbits. Tyrone Mings, another one that's been linked.
Well, I said the other day I'd like him in, but I didn't realise he was so injury prone.
Both the left backs we've been linked with are quite injury prone. Rico Henry as well. I think I'd prefer Rico Henry just on the basis he's worked with Smith before and I think he's a bit more attacking. But Mings is a unit. He's an absolute beast.
Yeah.
But he just hasn't played for Bournemouth, really.
No. And we need players that can come in and do the job.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We bought Corny Hawes in and we're saying he's not ready. We need people who can hit the ground immediately. Jordan Much is allegedly training. Well, not allegedly, he is training with Villa, but there's no way we'll be signing him.
Did he play at Cardiff as well? He just did at Cardiff.
He did well at Cardiff. That's where he got the Palace move. Former Blue Nose as well.
Oh, right.
So he knows the area.
So why would he be... where's the links?
I presume that he's from Birmingham, so he's just training. But you'd think he'd go and train at Blues if he played there previously.
What age is Jordan Much?
I couldn't tell you.
Wrong set of his 20s.
I'd guess he's approaching 30. Decent shot on him if I recall, but we need better than that.
He's one of those names that you've seen crop up over the years. I think did he play for Reading as well?
No, I don't know. But he hasn't played. He hasn't played for years.
No, he's drifted around the Championship.
He's been released by Palace, I think.
Yeah.
You have to maybe ask Steve Parish about him.
I'll drop a little message and see what he thinks of Jordan Much.
He just popped up probably earlier in conversation. Mariah.
Oh, God.
The only person we've done a tea-brew for this season. He was probably the most pointless signing that we could have done a tea-brew for. I put here, he fits in with the signings of Alori, Crespo and Bartlett.
Who's Bartlett?
Why did we sign him? Gregory got Gustavo Bartlett in the year 2000 from Rome on loan. He just never played. I think he got sent home for turning up in sunglasses once by old Gregor.
Brilliant. He outdone John in the style stakes. John couldn't have it.
John, he's a stylish man, isn't he?
John couldn't have it.
But yeah, Mariah. Did you see that video of the warm?
I saw that. Yeah, pathetic.
He didn't cover himself in glory there.
John, get out. That's the sort of thing when I see people taking the mick out of our football club, coming in and just not giving a toss, and fans have had enough. They've had enough of it, and we could, I would never have thought. I would have read the comments like Balassi. For me, he's a star player. He was a star player. He was bought for £25 million. I haven't seen anyone really say, "Oh no, I'm gutted."
No one is.
Not spoken to anyone that said they're gutted. I've not seen any.
I probably would have been a month ago. Because if you'd said to me he's going back to Everton, I'd have thought, oh well, he must have done well then.
Yeah.
But the fact is he hasn't. January 20th seems a random cut-off date to cancel your loan as well.
Oh, sure,
Where's that come from? Too near the end of the window to have that. Like, at least the Tammy cut-off made sense because he was halfway through.
Yeah.
That was another reason why I thought he was just leaking rubbish to the press, because that 20th of January seemed fabricated to me. But
apparently he
obviously
emailed,
it wasn't.
And that was it. Sunday night. On the old email, old school.
What's football come to? Just saying, I won't be coming in tomorrow, lads. On my way back to Everton.
It's a bit like
I don't fancy
grabbing in the Sunderland documentary. Right, lads, I'm off. See you later.
Yeah, don't talk about the Sunderland documentary. I think we've basically covered all 8 episodes in the podcast. Mikel Morris has asked, who's been Villa's best January signing since we've been in the Championship? You can obviously see my answer.
Scott Hogan.
What's happened to him? Victor on Twitter asked, where was Hogan at the weekend? Just not even on the bench. We've not seen much of our backup strikers other than Codger because he can play on the wing.
Don't know.
Haven't seen Davis and Hogan have both been sat on the bench doing nothing.
I would have thought this would have been Hogan's time to shine.
Just hasn't happened, has it? Think he was injured, possibly? You'd have thought he'd have been on the bench.
He seems to be made of glass.
I'd have thought he'd have been on the bench over Davis.
Still really wanted to work out for him, but
see, he's actually one who I think will stay. I think if Smith's building a team in his own image, one, I don't think anyone's going to pay us any good money for Hogan because it would be too risky. Two, probably, again, it's that thing of, well, if I leave, I'm going to not be getting as much money, which is natural because I probably wouldn't take a job for less money.
Yeah.
But then if we build a team that's in Smith's image, that might suit Hogan because Tammy ain't going to be here next season if we don't go up either. Do you not think he's worth keeping around?
Yeah, I mean, he is, but I mean, how many times? I mean, it just gets to the point where you're like, come on, mate. Time to go.
I mean, he did have that run last season where he did well. He had a run last season.
He did, but like for £12 million, man, I'd like to think he'd have more than just a run of 7 goals.
Have you got that best January signing? Have you got a serious answer for me? Or you
loan or
anything?
I love Sam Johnson. I thought he was phenomenal. I thought if we still would have had Sam Johnson, we would be.
But he didn't come in January and make an impact that first season. I wouldn't say it was more the second season when he was on loan. Where
that's true. Yeah, it's true. Who did we sign that year?
I've got to say, Grabban was a decent January signing last year because he did score goals for us. As much as I'm not sure about his character.
Herham was out of that crop that was brought in by Bruce. Connor's been the one to step up and
I've put him down.
Make a name for himself.
If you look in terms of, I mean, not even talking about ability here, I'm talking about sheer productivity.
Yeah.
His goal and assist record for a midfielder is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Whatever you think of him, we obviously like him. That productivity is pretty unmatched, I'd say.
Yeah, he's becoming a bit of an Ashley Westwood with the fans, and
I mean, Westwood's a good player. Playing the Premier League,
but you just sort of this unnecessary. He's sort of also almost become like a bit of a scapegoat, and it's. I mean, I will say there's a lot of players getting hammered at the moment. A lot of players getting hammered, and the players can feel it, and they know what's happening, and it needs to stop.
Yeah,
it needs to stop.
Let's talk about the Ipswich game. So, if you look at the league table and their recent record, if ever there was a good team to play at Villa Park, it's Ipswich Town. But as we often know in football, those kind of things don't go hand in hand.
Jordan Barry's going to just.
Jordan Barry playing for him?
No, but he's going to come down in like a Superman costume and land in the pitch, and he's going to score the winner.
I mean, they've got big Simon. They've got big Simon Dawkins.
Oh yeah,
obviously he ripped it up when he was at Villa Park.
Yeah, oh man, I just dreading Saturday. I'm absolutely dreading.
Are you dreading it because it's like Lambert?
Just Lambert, and you could, if you're going to put a house on something like a bet, put your house on Villa getting beaten 1-0.
Surely this has got to be the one we win. If we don't win this, we have to beat Ipswich on Saturday.
I'm done. If we don't win Saturday, I am done.
What do you mean? Never going to come on the podcast again?
Until Reading.
You're done until the week after when we're going to Reading. Yeah.
I honestly can't call it, Dan. I can't. I don't know where we're at. I don't know what team's going to turn up. I can't call it.
I'd like to think there might be a signing before then that will perhaps galvanise us.
See, this has been a bit of an issue of mine. I thought Smith would have wanted to get the players in early doors. Yes, he got in the keeper, but almost like if you can get them in early in January, like a pre-season, get them.
Well, we couldn't have been any quicker with the goalkeeper.
That's it. But apart from him, there's been nothing. Nothing's happened.
Yeah,
and I'm a little bit surprised. I mean, I know things go on behind the scenes. You look at the Mepham signing, and I'm sure there's players who were trying to get in that haven't come off.
Yeah,
because they're always working. There's always deals that you think
we're certainly up to
completely.
Stuff.
And Smith hasn't ruled. He's clearly said stuff like things will happen. Signings will come in, but
I mean, it's not really Dean Smith's room either. He's probably identified some players, but it's the back room. It's the Pitarch that's getting in the players.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. But as regards to Saturday, I really can't call it. I really cannot call it.
James Collins returning as well. I've put it at infiltrator.
Yeah.
He's been training with us all season.
I know.
He might know all our best plans.
I know. What
do you think of that?
I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. You're
on a podcast.
I know. But you know what I mean. I'm just as I'm speaking, I'm just like visualising. I'm visualising the game and visualising how it's going to go.
Yeah.
This should be the one, as you said. We've got a good record against.
I mean, we couldn't ask for a kinder fixture.
No. But I thought Ipswich. I thought Wigan would be a kind fixture to us.
I mean, it's away though. Although we've been better away, so actually. Yeah.
How do you see it going?
I don't know. I've said exactly the same thing I've told you off for.
I sat here and said that we'd win 3-0 against Wigan. I sat, Rollo sat in the preview and said we'd win 3 or 4. It was like happy days.
Rollo's
Here we
just
go.
turned into you and Matt Lynch combined.
Here we go. You know,
getting a bit cocky since he's been on camera.
Yeah, so I can't call it. I think we'll get beat 1-0.
I'm going to say that it's going to click.
I think we'll get beat 1-0 from a set piece, and it'll just be Lambert in a
Dolan.
tracksuit, in an Ipswich tracksuit with PL on it, just running around, giving it stacks. And he'll love it, and that'll be it.
He'll love the press conference talking about Villa, won't he?
And that'll be his little 5 minutes of fame for Ipswich, and they'll go down, and he'll leave, and that'll be it. But they'll beat us.
He beat us with Wolves, didn't he? 1-0.
He did.
He loved it.
Bruce is going to beat us. O'Neill's going to beat us.
Jeez, Chris, come on.
Well, you know, I'm telling you how it is. That's where my mind.
It's a different time.
At.
It would be a different time when we rock up to Hillsborough.
Well, that's where I am at the minute. I'm sorry.
Okay, so
I'm sorry.
If I had to press you for a score prediction,
1-0 Ipswich.
Oh, come on, Dan. Don't be sitting there. Come on, you're making me feel glum.
Well, that's 1-0 Ipswich.
3-1 Villa.
Why?
You heard it here first.
What are you basing that on? The second half performance.
I'm hoping Jack's going to be back.
Well,
I'm putting all my eggs in that basket. That Jack's going to be back and we're going to be galvanised. Green might play. What team would you pick? What change would you make?
Unless we get
Current.
Yeah.
What we've got there at the minute.
You'd have to go Kalnich. You'd have to go Chester, Elphick. I'd bring Bree back into the team and
Do
play.
you think Bree was injured because he wasn't in the 18?
I don't know what happened there. There was no mumblings of him being injured.
No.
So I'd bring him back in. I'd keep Taylor at left back because he's the only left back we have at the club. And I would go.
I'm asking what you think we'll do, by the way, not what you'd do.
What I think we'll do. I think we'll probably just go on chains. I think we'll probably. Well, Barbalassi, I think we'll put Abraham to the left, Kodja to the right, and the rest will. I think he'll bring Bree back in. So Bree will come in, Adoma will move to the left, and Kodja will come in.
So you don't think Green will come in for Balassa?
No, I think it'll be Adoma.
Adoma was playing anyway.
Kodja
on the right,
and
Adoma
then
on the
they'll
left.
swap. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see where you're going with that. I could see you thinking
Just
behind
with
that.
Adoma's work rate as well. He tracks back more.
I'd pick Adoma every week at the moment on the wingers.
Yeah.
Give me a choice with those wingers. I mean, Adoma plays.
But even Agazi, he's really gone off the boil. He's
a good player though. He
Yeah.
looks at what again. He
I
looked
know,
at what.
I know.
But he was chasing back, tackling.
West Brom
scored
stunning
2.
game.
He looked unbelievable, and then again, it's just like confidence has just been drained from the players.
Yeah.
Good players are not playing to their full potential because they look low on confidence. It all looks flat, and it needs to change.
This is probably been a bit strange, and it's something that I'd kind of thought about when I first saw it. But you know, Richard O'Kelly, our number 2.
Yeah.
He gives me the impression that he's in awe of the club.
I think he's just being respectful.
I just get the impression that he's in awe.
He
He's in
coached
awe.
my mate at West Brom
Yeah.
till he was 18. My mate played for West Brom till he was 18, got released.
What did he say?
Good coach, liked him. He liked him. And let me tell you, he didn't like all the coaches that he played under at West Brom, but he liked Richard O'Kelly. Said he was a nice guy, good coach. Knew
I
what he
just
was talking
feel
about.
sometimes maybe I don't know. He just looks like he's in all the club, and sometimes for me, maybe players are taking advantage of his good nature. He looks to me like he's.
But that's speculation. We don't know that.
No, but I'm just I don't know. I'm just looking at because you look at how players are dipping in confidence and everything. I don't know. It seems from what I gather, not from what I gather, but from what I think, they're I don't know. I just there's an underlying issue going on there somewhere.
Yeah.
And you can't have a worldly one game or for 2 games and then all of a sudden go off the boil, and that's what's been happening.
But isn't like 1 or 2 drop in form here? It's the whole squad.
Wow.
Because when Taylor first came back in, Dean Smith put him straight back in.
Yeah, played really well.
He looked galvanised. He looked good. And now he's gone probably back to the Neil Taylor that we watched play last season with no confidence.
Yeah.
It's difficult. I just wish I could make sense of what I'm seeing. But we must emphasise again that we both really, really think Dean Smith's the right man.
Oh,
there's no way he'll get a
completely.
push at any point this season. He will be here next season,
Yeah,
Dean
yeah.
Smith.
Oh, 100%.
Whether players are or not isn't one thing, but Dean Smith will be here.
100%. He needs he needs a pre-season and at least a season.
Yeah.
And then I think he can be fairly judged this time next year.
Yeah.
That's the marker.
I mean, I'd say even further on than that. We've got to stop this mentality of, we're not winning games. See ya.
See you later. Yeah.
It's got to be long term.
Yeah.
It's always an old story that people roll out, but Alex Ferguson
Would have got sacked. Yeah.
nearly got sacked. They didn't sack him.
Yeah.
And then for the next
20
25 years, they go on and win everything and have phenomenal times. So It'd be nice to see Villa do what Man United did. I'm not saying for 1 minute that's going to happen, but I just think that at some point we have to make sensible decisions, and I think the sensible decision is Dean Smith is given 2-3 years to sort this out, get a team in his own image, because he's overachieved where he's been before. He's got good results at Brentford and Walsall.
Yeah, but he's been at Brentford and Walsall.
Yeah, I know that, but everyone's got to start somewhere.
Yeah, but there's no expectations. Fans aren't expecting.
He's never going to walk into a job like Villa without having done some work somewhere else.
For me, his past, his record is in other clubs.
I'm just saying he's got something about him. He knows what he's doing.
Completely.
I mean, I wasn't at the Dean Smith Q&A for the foundation, but it sounds like he came across very well.
I haven't even heard what was asked, what was said. It's been quite quiet.
I've been surprised not to see a video of some description, to be honest.
I'd have liked to have heard what was talked about, but
wouldn't we all? If you did go to that Dean Smith Q&A and you're watching this podcast, can you comment about it so we can just get some information about it? Because really, I didn't really say anything on Twitter about it either. I did have a load of stuff about the Trust AGM, but I'm just going to have to point you towards the Trust website and the Villa Trust Johnny and Howard's podcast, because we're getting a bit low on time here and we've got other stuff to talk about.
And the video that Johnny did as well in here.
Yeah, just have a listen to that if you want to hear what Purslow said, because he said some good things, especially around the under 23s and Premier League too, and he's talked a bit about John Terry as well. So yeah, tune into Johnny Gold and Howard's Villa Trust podcast. There's bits with Ian Taylor and Brian Little on there as well. So check that out, because as I say, I've got some notes about it, but we've got other stuff that I want to talk about. Bit of a championship roundup. Ashley Cole's gone to Derby. Tom Julian messaged us yesterday, very upset. Is he the kind of player Villa should have been in for? Because for me, we shouldn't be touching that kind of player.
Absolutely not. That's everything.
Great player when he's
That's everything that we're going. That's everything that we're going against. I know I've said.
Then you're saying John Terry
about Guy Cahill. Yeah, but he's 39.
Yeah, I know. He was a good lad. I don't know. He's been playing in the MLS. I'm not sure.
You can get away with being a bit older playing centre back, but as a full back, you need to be fit, and you need to be born up and down those wings. No, for me that's a no go.
John Obi Mikel's going to Borough as well.
That's quite a handy signing.
Not mobile enough for me, John Obi Mikel.
Yeah, but
for his position where he plays, defensive midfield.
I mean, Borough aren't blessed with pace or guile or
I'd say that's a purely signing.
It's a complete. That's as pure as it gets. If he was to be in a team with other flair players, then I'd be like, do you know what? Not a bad trip. That'll just slow them down even more.
I mean, he already likes to chuck 5-6 centre-backs on the pitch at one time.
So, I mean, that's just going to really slow everything down and add to the turgid football that already is up there. So,
I mean, so we're saying turgid football, but at the end of the day, they're in the top 6.
Exactly.
They're where they need to be.
But listen, we've been here. We've signed players like Mikel. We've signed the players like Ashley Cole. We've been there. We've done that, and it hasn't worked.
I will say what I will say about Ashley Cole is he's the only England player that golden generation that I would say played to his full potential in every international tournament, never let the country down. He was brilliant, just consistent. One of the best left-backs the world's ever seen.
Yeah, without a doubt.
But not for us at this current time.
No.
I mean, at the end of the day, I suppose we've got John Terry, but he's going to play for his mate, really.
Of course he is.
Essentially.
Of course he is. Yeah. Judy Morris, Lampard, Ashley Cole. They're all. He won't
be on big money, I wouldn't think.
Did I hear 10 grand?
Yeah, probably. I think Tom said 10 or 15.
10 grand a week
yesterday. Tom was upset.
How much more money do you need when you've got £55 million in the bank? How much more do you need to 10 grand? Happy days.
True. Just quickly move on to glance across the AOB section of the podcast note. So just a note to say the Villa ladies are actually playing Leicester at Villa Park on Sunday. There's free parking in the North Stand, and it's very reasonable pricing of £5 for adults, £2 for concessions, OAPs, all that jazz. Tickets are available online till midday Friday, and tickets are available from the Trinity box office on the day. So if you've got not doing anything on Sunday, or even if you are doing something on Sunday, then try and get down, give the ladies team your support, because it's a big deal for them playing at Villa Park. They should be playing games at Villa Park. They're part of the club, in my opinion. So yeah, definitely go and check them out. Little competition, if you manage to bear with us this duration through the podcast. So Luke Roper very kindly said that they will give £100 to a Villa View podcast listener or watcher. £100 to spend online, I believe it is, or to spend in the shop. So it'll be a code, so I don't have to send anything out. So that's a win for whoever wins this competition.
You'll lose it
immediately. So yeah, all you've got to do is either like or be likes or subscribed to any of our social channels or subscribed to our YouTube channel. So you basically just got to be following us on one of our social media or mediums. So the question that you have to answer is, what has been the thing you've enjoyed most about Luke Roper being Villa's kit make? So give us a spiel about what you think about that. Either comment on YouTube or on Twitter. We'll put a post out on our social media channels. Comment below on that. We're going to whittle it down to 3
And let me tell you, we
answers.
take this very seriously.
Oh, we do, big time.
There was a lot of discussion about those tickets in the group. You know, that was all done. That was all properly done.
Yeah, we did do that. We did our due diligence.
So
yeah. We'll put a video out as well on our social channels and an explanation in case I've explained this terribly, which I always fear I have. Doesn't happen when Dolan, doesn't help when Dolan interrupts me. So yeah,
Right.
Once we've whittled it down to 3, we're then going to send the best 3 off to Luke Roper, and he's going to pick his favourite, and you will win £100 spend at the Luke Roper store.
Happy days. Exactly, happy days.
Presenters not allowed to answer.
What would you say? Have you got about the whole Luke?
I mean, I don't want to answer something and then take someone else's answer
That's
away, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut for
That's
once.
true.
Dolan.
Well,
You got anything else you want to go over?
Not really, no. Just it's been a bit miserable for me this weekend or this week.
It's been a miserable month or so, to be fair.
It's been pretty miserable all around. The weather's miserable.
That Boxing Day win against Swansea feels a long time ago. I mean, it was a month ago.
That home win against Birmingham seems like a long time ago.
That is even longer ago. Yeah. One day I will tell a little story before we go. Have you ever had an absolute stinker at a football match? And my dad's going to think he's got away with this because he's going to think I've forgotten, but I've remembered. Have you ever had an absolute stinker where you've just done something terrible at the football match and people have ended up laughing at you? Not for your hair, just...
That shirt.
Nothing wrong with your shirt, mate.
All right. No.
Shall I tell you what my dad...
I'm usually pretty
Shall
cool.
I tell you what my dad did on Saturday?
Go on.
So it's stoppage time. I'll be honest, the ground has started to empty out by this point. So you could if someone's having a conversation, everyone around you can hear it. So a Villa player went down in the box, but he just basically went out for a goal kick. It was never a penalty, and the referee pointed for a goal kick, and my dad thought that they pointed for a penalty, and he went, "Yes!" really, really, really loud. Like it felt like about hundreds of people were just laughing at him. He was just so funny, and as he was walking out, when a guy that sits behind us was like, "Oh, it's a good job we got that penalty in stoppage time." Isn't he, Dave? He just had an absolute stinker.
I'm kind of glad because he's been giving me a bit of stick recently.
My dad?
Yeah.
What's he been saying?
It's on Twitter and stuff.
What's he said?
Trying to blame me and all for the bad run.
Why?
Because I said I'd take a point.
It's very harsh to blame you for these
and
things.
your mum doesn't like me either, so...
She doesn't like you, Chris. She just
I'm not
didn't fancy the hair.
a well-liked man in the Bardell household.
I like you. I put on Twitter that I loved you earlier.
Oh, you did?
Yes, there we go. That was nice of me. So yeah, let's end it on a happy note. Remember to enter the competition if you have managed to decipher what you've got to do. So yeah, make sure you enter in that competition. If you're watching via YouTube, then make sure you subscribe to the Villa View with your post notifications on and give this video a like. If you have enjoyed it, give us some comments below as well with what you thought of the podcast. And obviously, if you're entering via YouTube, leave your comments about Luke Roper to try and win that £100 clothing voucher. Rollo's actually recorded a match preview today with James Rushton, although they did get turfed out of the library before they finished, so that video could end up any which way. I believe there'll be an insert from us from this podcast that gets put into that match preview. Fan cams will be on Saturday as well, although I'm not sure who's presenting it because I've got to rush off after the game because it's the wife's birthday. Sometimes you have to put the wife first, but kudos to me for still being at the game. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, all that jazz. Thanks ever so much for watching this podcast. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.
3 points Saturday.
No.
If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking our logo there on the left. Easy peasy.